So, we all know Bruno Mars. He's a global superstar, right? But who is the guy in his songs? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to totally deconstruct the character we meet in his music just by looking at the lyrics.
So, what are we dealing with here? Is he the perfect lover, a total loser when it comes to relationships, or this untouchable legend dripping in 24-karat gold? Well, the crazy thing is, he's all three. So yeah, get ready for some serious lyrical whiplash. Let's get into it.
So on one side of the coin, you get this guy. I mean, it's just pure, gut-wrenching regret. He's basically admitting, my pride, my ego, my selfish ways, they cost me everything. It's so raw, a completely vulnerable confession.
And then, bam, you've got this dude, the total 180-degree opposite. We're talking a dangerous man with cash to burn, Cuban links, designer minks, and you better believe he has absolutely zero regrets. This whiplash, this stark contrast, that's the secret sauce to understanding his whole artistic persona.
All right, first up, let's look at the side of Bruno Mars that has probably been played at more weddings and proposals than we can count. We're talking about the ultimate romantic. But here's the thing, it's not just one note. This persona actually goes through a really fascinating evolution.
Okay, so it all kicks off right here, with just pure, unconditional love. This is the character who looks at his partner and sees absolute perfection in every single detail. Her eyes, her hair, her laugh. It's way more than a compliment. He's literally validating her entire existence.
But that super sweet, wholesome praise, that's just the starting line. See, this romantic persona, he's not shy. All that adoration, it builds this foundation of trust. And that allows things to shift into something more confident, more passionate.
And boom, here's a perfect example of that shift. You've got this luxurious setting, the mood is just right, and it's all about this slow, deliberate seduction. I mean, that line, I love that dress, but you won't need it anymore. Wow. It just shows a partner who is both totally appreciative and, let's be honest, irresistibly confident.
So right here, you can see the whole range of his romantic side. On the one hand, you have Treasure, where she's his golden star, this pure, precious object of his affection. But then you flip over to Locked Out of Heaven, and suddenly that connection is transcendent. It's spiritual. Their intimacy literally takes him to paradise. See? It's the same core of devotion, just expressed in two wildly different ways.
Okay, time to flip this coin completely. Because for every single moment of romantic bliss we just talked about, there is an equal and boy, is it opposite moment of absolutely devastating heartbreak. And let me tell you, when the Bruno Mars persona gets his heart broken, it's not just a sad song. It's a full-on, multi-stage, world-ending event.
Believe it or not, we can actually map out the entire course of his breakups. It happens in 4 distinct lyrical stages. It kicks off with regret, then it spirals into total desperation, then it escalates to straight-up self-destruction, and it all ends up curdling into this cynical, bitter anger. Let's break down how each stage builds on the one before it.
All right, stage 1. This is that moment of really painful clarity. The I was too young, too dumb to realize phase. The most important part here is that he's taking the blame. He straight up says, I was wrong. And the pain isn't just about losing her. It's about knowing some other guy is going to do all the things that he should have done.
So after regret, we plunge right into absolute desperation. The stakes get raised from, oops, I messed up, to a full-blown cosmic catastrophe. The sun won't shine. The sky will fall. I mean, her being gone isn't just sad anymore. It's literally the apocalypse in his world.
And this is where things get, well, physical and super hyperbolic. He's way past just being sad. Now he's willing to suffer extreme violent pain. We're talking grenades, blades, trains, anything to prove how devoted he is. It's this declaration of love that's so intense it's practically self-destruction.
And then finally, after all that pain, all that I'd catch a grenade for you stuff, the sorrow just sours into pure anger. Now, in Smoking Out the Window, the woman who used to be his sun and stars, suddenly she's this trifling person who belonged to everybody. The love is completely gone, and all that's left is this bitter resentment about paying her rent and dropping cash at Tiffany's.
So, you gotta ask, how does a character even begin to recover from that kind of epic heartbreak? Well, simple. You bury the pain under a giant mountain of gold. And that brings us to our third and final major persona. The high-rolling showman who basically escapes his feelings through pure, unapologetic excess. This guy's whole world is defined by a very specific checklist of luxury items. And it's not just about being rich, it's a carefully curated lifestyle. We're talking a condo in Manhattan, Strawberry champagne on ice, silk sheets, diamonds, 24 carats on everything. These aren't just things, you know? They're basically his armor to keep from feeling anything too deeply.
And just to put that in perspective for you, that's the amount he says he spent at Tiffany's in Smoking Out the Window, right before he starts complaining about paying her rent. See that? The pain from his past is directly clashing with this insane spending in his present. It's one heck of an expensive coping mechanism.
But you know, it's about way more than just the money. This character is the master of ceremonies. He's the guy who walks into a room and it's suddenly showtime. He's that dangerous man who commands attention, sets the whole vibe, and basically takes control of the entire party. It's like he's putting on a performance of happiness and success.
Okay, so after that whirlwind tour through love, loss, and pure luxury, what does it all mean? Where do we land? Let's pull it all together and take one final look at the 3 core personas that really define the lyrical world of Bruno Mars.
This table pretty much sums up our entire journey, doesn't it? You've got the romantic, who is all about pure adoration. Then you have the heartbroken, defined by this almost over-the-top level of desperation. And finally, the showman, who just lives in this constant state of celebration. 3 totally distinct, really powerful, and yeah, often conflicting identities all in one artist.
So here's the bottom line, the really crucial point. The reason Bruno Mars connects with millions of people is because he can convincingly sell every single one of these emotions. He makes you believe in that fairy tale romance, he makes you feel the gut punch of that breakup, and he makes you desperate for an invitation to that 24K magic party. He really does cover the entire spectrum of human experience.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Are these just perfectly crafted characters in some big pop music play? You know, a testament to just masterful storytelling? Or are we actually getting a glimpse into the genuine emotional highs and lows